Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some more of the regionals practice battles, and we are actually going to be testing out a little bit of Gallade here in these battles today. So to start this off, right before we hop into these battles, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to drop a like, comment, and a subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you guys can be notified every single time I upload a new video. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much in advance. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into some more regional practice here against a viewer and a subscriber. You saw him in yesterday's video. His name is Will, aka Speediest Chief. And appreciate these battles, man. And yeah, he's an amazing sparring partner. I believe he has his regional this weekend. Yeah, I'm sure he'll do great. And he's actually somewhat, well, he's not new to the PvP scene, but his first cup was the Kingdom Cup, but he did have practice a lot throughout the past few months' cups. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna open a Azumarill. He opens Venusaur, so amazing opening matchup for him. We gotta switch out of there into our Medicham. We're gonna hit him with Ice Punch. He's not gonna shield, so that's great. And now he's gonna switch into a little Marowak, which is actually a hard stop to Medicham, as you can see there. Since he's Ghost type, he's going to be 2 times resisting all of my moves. Except this Ice Punch, he's going to be 1 time resisting that since he is Fire, I believe. And then he's going to hit me with the Shadow Ball. And right here, I know he has a bunch of Charge Energy. So we're going to go with Azumarill. And he's going to hit us with a Bone Club, but that's perfectly fine. We're just going to kill it the rest of the way with Bubble and farm a bunch of energy. He's going to bring that Venusaur back in, so we're going to hit it with a Play Rough. We know he has Frenzy Plant here, so we're going to have to shield this. And we're hoping we get to another Play Rough. We do. And he's going to actually use his last shield on Venusaur, so we're going to have to shield Azumarill. And we're going to get this quick switch into Haunter. And his last Pokemon is a Medicham, so this is a GG. He's going to finish his Medicham off with an Ice Punch, and we're going to Shadow Punch his Venusaur to death. So, well played in game number 1. We somehow scrap up a win with an awful opening matchup. That's mostly because Haunter had 2 positive matchups there, 1 being Medicham and 2 being the Venusaur. He was able to farm up a bunch of energy, which in the end helped me win that match. So going into game number 2 here. This is where we are going to start running Gallade and see how he does as a replacement to Venusaur. He opens a Alolan Raichu, which is, again, another unfavorable matchup. As you guys know, from the Cup this month, which is Nightmare, you guys know that's an unfavorable matchup. So we got to switch out of there into Bastiodon. He brings out the Alolan Marowak. This is a well-known matchup from Kingdom as well, and we know Bastiodon can definitely take out an Alolan Marowak. Even though I didn't have Bastiodon back in the day, I watched a bunch of videos on it and saw how it did against a little Marowak. So he's going to bring in Venus, so we're going to actually go Stone Edge. We wanted the stab damage there, but if he didn't shield, that would have been bad for us. So we're going to bring in Skarmory here. We could have brought in Gallade, because Gallade actually wins hard against things like Venusaur and Haunter, since Confusion will be doing large chunks of damage to the poison typing of Venusaur and Haunter. We're going to let that Frenzy Plant kill us because we have Skarmory in the back, and Skarmory can finish off Venusaur easily there. So, well played. Game number 2. Yeah, to give Gallade a little bit of praise here. He does very well against Bastiodon with close combat. You want to run Confusion, Leaf Blade, and close combat. And he will have positive matchups against Bastiodon, Venusaur, Haunter, Azumarill, Whiscash, and Cham. So here, we run Skarmory against Bastiodon in the opening match. This is awful. We're going to farm a little bit of energy there and swap out to the mirror. He's going to opt to stay in, which I wasn't sure why, but maybe he wasn't running a Medicham here or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we're just going to play this mirror out. This was like the best case scenario for me. He stays in and it gives me a chance in this matchup. And yeah, this is just a super long match. I was debating switching there, but I was like, nah, there's no point. So here we're going to bring out Gallade. We know we are going to resist that Stone Edge, but we're going to block anyways because Gallade is quite squishy. But we are resisting those smackdowns. So here he brings in a Alolan Marowak. So we're going to have to hit Leaf Blade here, even though it's going to be resisted. And we're going to bring out Skarmory after forcing that shield. And we're going to force a second shield there. And they bring in Skarmory. So that is exactly why they didn't switch out of the Bastiodon, because they didn't have a solid Bastiodon counter. So here we're going to run the mirror match. Yeah, we're just going to save up a little bit of extra energy, go for Sky Attack. And we actually get off one more before we go out. And he's going to finish us off here with his own Sky Attack. And now all we have left is that Gallade, but it does finish it off. And a Alolan Marowak is left. So we opt to just go for a Leaf Blade, because close combat would be resisted. Double resisted. And we almost got to that next Leaf Blade there. The only thing you really need to get used to on Gallade is that it has Confusion, which is an extremely slow quick move. And if you want to have fast switches, you really have to time it perfectly. So that's one downside. Is that once you tap that screen and get that Confusion going, you're going to be in that animation for quite a while. Especially in fast-paced battles. So here we're going to actually open Gallade again. And we do have Azumarill, which I believe is actually an even matchup. It depends on whether Azumarill goes for the Shield Bait or not. And he does shield that first Leaf Blade, and he goes for Play Rough, so that's good. He's going to switch out to Venusaur, which actually is another very solid matchup for us. As you can see, their Confusion, well, yeah, we're going to block that Frenzy Plant. But as you can see how much Confusion is doing, it was seriously chunking away. And now he's going to bring in his Medicham, so another positive matchup for us. And now he only has one shield on that Medicham, so we're going to bring in a Azumarill. We want to force that last shield out with a Play Rough, but he's going to switch back into Azumarill, which was a smart play. We're going to switch into Bastiodon so that we can tank this Hydro Pump. And in the end here, I believe he does shield with the Azumarill. So we use a Stone Edge, and he does shield. So that's actually what we wanted. And now we're going to get the Charge Move priority with Play Rough there. We're going to finish off Azumarill, and then his last Pokemon is Medicham. So, yeah, this Medicham is a goner once we activate Play Rough. And we get it off, and that's a GG in that game. So we had to use Bastiodon there as a... We basically were throwing him out to be a sacrifice, because all it would be at that point against Azumarill and Medicham was an energy farm. So we definitely would not want that against our Azumarill. So going into this next matchup, we are going to lead the same team. We really want to test Gallade in this opener matchup. Against Skarmory, this is a very bad scenario. So we got to switch out of their ASAP to Bastiodon. He's going to switch into Venusaur, so this is going to be positive for him, but we do have the energy advantage. So we're going to force shield number 1 out. And you see here, you see him charging him a bunch of energy. We're going to just let these frenzy plants go through. And now we're going to force his last shield with flamethrower. And Bastion has done its job. It forced both shields and did a bunch of damage to Venusaur. So now Gallade can come in, clean up, charge up some energy. And here we have to shield the Sky Attack. So watch what we do though. We go for the close combat, and boom! Look at how much damage that just did, and it was unshielded. So yeah, that's where Gallade can turn a bad matchup into a slightly better one. And his last Pokemon is a Alolan Marowak, so this is just incredible for us. Azumarill finishes it off with a Hydro Pump, and we still had 1 shield remaining. So well played there. And GG. So going in this last matchup, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to run Haunter, Gallade, and Cham, and see how this goes. So we're going to open Haunter, and this is where he decided to go with very off-meta picks. So yeah, just please don't judge. He was trying something different, but yeah, he switched into that shift tree, and we're switching to Medicham, and you guys know that's a GG there. So we're gonna go for an Ice Punch when he brings the Skullbat out. That's gonna force 1 shield. We have another stored Ice Punch, and that does a decent amount of damage. And we're gonna actually go for the block here so that we can either force a shield. We go for the shield bait, and he takes it. So that's perfect. We're gonna switch out Medicham into Gallade here. We're gonna hit that Lapras with a Leaf Blade. Now Ice Beam, gonna knock out our Gallade since Gallade is pretty squishy. And now we're going to bring in our Medicham. That is also powered up, and we almost had that Ice Punch there, but we're gonna finish off the Golbat anyways with the Shadow Punch from Haunter. So going in this next game, you guys saw it there. We're gonna open with Azumarill, and he opens with Bastion. So another pretty positive matchup for us, only because we are running Hydro Pump on our Azumarill, and he's gonna switch into Vileplume. So that's unique. We're gonna switch into our Gallade. As you guys see, Razor Leaf still does an incredible amount of damage to Gallade, but Gallade's Confusion is just doing much more. And look at that, guys. We hit his Bastion with a close combat, and that's going to be a 1-hit KO. He told me afterwards he forgot that it had close combat. So if he knew in the moment, you know, that would have been a way different scenario. But yeah, either way, Gallade is a Bastion killer. It does much better than Venusaur does against Bastion, so that makes it slightly better. A lot of these matches, I want Gallade to be in a scenario where it has its shields up, and I want to just see how it does against like the general hard meta like Azumarill, Bastion, Cham, Haunter, Venusaur, you know, all the things like that. And hey, if you guys didn't know, Confusion charges up Leaf Blade pretty quickly. It only takes 3 Confusions to charge up Leaf Blade, and that's going to do heavy damage to all the water types like Azumarill, like Whiscash. It's going to annihilate Whiscash and Quagsire, and it will do pretty well against Lantern as well. So if you can get Gallade in a scenario where it has 2 shields to 0, it's going to wreck house against whatever your opponent has. But remember, again, it is pretty squishy, and you need to shield just about anything. And in this matchup, we're going to go up against the Celio with an Azumarill lead. Like I said, he is starting to run anti-meta now. Or, well, off-meta, I should say. And I didn't actually know how this matchup played out, but I was guessing that I would win. And he brings out Abomasnow, so we're going to switch into Gallade. That was a big mistake on our end. as you can see, we just got annihilated by Razor Leaf. He's going to block that Leaf Blade, so one shield gone at least for the price of Gallade. And now we're going to bring in Bastiodon. We actually thought that would have been an outrage, so we don't block, but that's fine. Now he's going to bring in Celio back in. We don't need to block that Aurora Beam. Not Gallade. Bastiodon is just a wall. And we are going to block that Body Slam, thinking maybe it's another Aurora Beam, so awful shield on my end. But that's okay, because this last Pokemon is Crobat, so we're going to just finish this off with a Stone Edge. And take that game. So well played there. And GG. Alrighty guys, going in this next game. We're going to open with Gallade. And see how it goes with Bastiodon and Azumarill. So he's going to open Poliwrath. This is another very common matchup. And now he's going to switch into Abomasnow. So we're going to switch into Bastiodon. And it is doing super effective damage. I mean, that Flamethrower will be doing 2 times super effective. Now his Poliwrath is going to just Ice Punch us to death, but that's fine. I see him charging up a bunch. I mean, charging up a bunch of energy here. And yeah, he's gonna let it go all right here. And Azumarill can easily tank anything coming from this. Yeah, we finish that off, and his last Pokemon is this flying thingy. I don't even know what you call it. I mean, I know the name, but I'm trying to describe what it looks like. Yeah, this is an awkward matchup, but yeah, he wanted to try things out against Gallade. So one of those things was that Pokemon. I hope you guys enjoyed thus far. This is going to be the last battle of the video. So he's going to open Torterra. We're going to open Azumarill. This is awful for us. We're going to switch into Bastiodon there. Even this isn't the best matchup for us, but we do have the Flamethrower at least, which he is going to block. And yeah, this Torterra is doing work against us. He's going to fire off that Solar Beam. We're going to have to shield there. And then he mixes swap into a little Marowak, so smart there. He got enough energy to fire off Bone Club before another Stone Edge, and we're lagging a little bit, but that's okay. We're not going to block this Shadow Ball because he has 0 shield, so we're going to just fire off this Hydro Pump, finish off the little Marowak, and here comes his Torterra once again. So this thing is giving us a lot of trouble. And our last Pokemon is, in fact, Gallade here. And his last Pokemon is Mightyena. And look at that. We have 1 HP left, and we fire off a close combat, and that's GG. So at the start of that match, I was really thinking, we're screwed here. There's no way Mightyena is going to do work against us with that bite. But luckily, Confusion was just quick enough to get us to a close combat, and we one-shot the Mightyena. Wow. Man, I do really like Gallade in this meta, guys. And yeah, that finishes off the video for today. In my opinion, Gallade was wrecking the most top pick Pokemon in the regionals meta. Well, I hope you guys found this helpful, enjoyable, and informative. Gallade is definitely worthy of a spot on your team. And if you're going to replace it for anything, I would say replace it for Venusaur, because they both cover the same things, and they both lose to the same things. But Gallade has a lot more of a fighting chance against things like Skarmory with that close combat. So yeah, it's quite squishy, but it does beat the same things that Venusaur beats. But definitely watch out for number 1, Sableye. Number 2, Alolan Marowak. You're definitely going to get beat by. And number 3 is Skarmory or any of the Flyers. Or, yeah, any of the Flyers you'll have trouble against. especially like a Lugia. Definitely watch out for that. But yeah, it destroys a lot of the meta. And I hope you guys find some viability with it and test it out on your teams. See how it runs. You might want to run it over Venusaur, but yeah, tell me in the comments down below what you thought of today's video and how you feel about Gallade. Yeah, overall, I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, please drop a like, subscribe, and a comment down below. I really appreciate everything. And yeah, until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.